Hey folks, today is Sunday, September, what is that, 8th, 7:47 p.m. My name is James, and let's take a look and see what the markets are doing now. I put the other video up before that said, just keep an eye on my StockTwits page until things got a little bit better. Shortly after that, it seemed like things have gotten a little bit better. We had a pretty good, what was it, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, where everything just kind of took off. But yeah, you can see on the S&P, we finally got to clear this line, which that's been a significant line all the way back here. We're finally over that again, but actually staying over that line has been a problem. We've had issues here, we touched it here, so we cleared it back here, got sent right back down, then we consolidated into an ascending triangle, we popped higher. Took a rest on Friday. I'm hoping that that might be a positive thing and not something that maybe the market was wanting to let the weekend pass, because on the weekends it seems like we've had a couple of news pieces that have come out and really thrown everything out of whack, like the China tariffs and all that kind of stuff. So maybe the overall market's a little scared of the weekends right now. So it took a break on Friday and waited for the weekend to pass. So is it this week? No, we have the Fed meeting next week. So this week's kind of hopefully clear of any potential major news, as long as we don't get any China or tariff stuff that could shock everything. So anyway, the S&P is over that line for now. NASDAQ, my charts have been loading slowly since right before I started recording this video, so I apologize. It might take a few minutes for them to actually open up for me. The NASDAQ has me a little bit worried, because even though we cleared the very upper line of the triangle, we paused right below this line, and that line is significant back here. This was a high that we dropped from, and again, we had issues with it here, we tried to get over, couldn't, got sent right back below, and now we're right back there again, and we paused. That could be good, a pause that refreshes and spikes it forward. We'll have to see. The Russell had a good week, as it had a little bit of a falling or descending channel, just a small descending channel with a clear line there that it actually popped over. And again, Friday there was a rest to pull it back a little bit. And then on the Dow, it's kind of the same as the S&P, I think. Yeah, this one's actually seems a little bit more clearly an ascending triangle there, with the ascending line back here or down here, and then it kind of gapped up and popped over. The Dow looks better, like having a green doji on Friday instead of a red one, or a red one that has a little bit more selling to it. We'll have to see. We'll really have to see at this point. We were able to pop over that line, which is good. Now we get to see what happens this week, and that's really where we're at with it. I can't really positively say that the market is going to power higher. We need to see a little bit more action that gets some more volume, perhaps, which might be hard in September. But if we could see a little bit more show up and really take the market higher, that'd be good. And even if the trend just continues higher, the price keeps going, even if volume doesn't pick up and the price trend just continues to climb on the indexes, that would be good. We just want to see more positivity. That's what I want to see. So what happened last week was great. Let's see some more of it. I don't have a very big list right now, but I'm just going to show you what I've been looking at. OLED, last week I drew that line. I spotted that trend line earlier last week, and it actually popped over that. I bought this stock right there. I let it go almost to the close. I think I bought it. It was like 3:45 or 3:50 p.m. I think it was right around 3:45, and I just bought it. I figured it was going to close either right at the line or above, and it did. And then the following day it gapped up, and it went up like $12 or so the next day. So that was a really good entry for me. I'm still in that, and I'm down here. My stop is sitting down there as well. This bar has me a bit worried and a bit not, because when I look at the chart, it's an inverted hammer at a high level, which should be bearish or at least indicate a pause. But when I was watching the stock on Friday, there wasn't a lot of exuberant selling. There wasn't a ton of volume that piled in Of course, it had higher volume, but what I mean by that is it didn't have a lot of, on the 5-minute chart, big red bars with big volume driving it lower aggressively. I didn't see that. There was kind of a really aggressive run up at the start of the day, and it just kind of slowly sagged lower through the rest of the day. So I'm not that worried about it because I'm in from down here, and I assume that this level right there is going to hold it. Even if it drops all the way down to that point, I'm certain that that line would hold it, and I would expect it to bounce off there, or at least consolidate a little bit above that line and then continue to go higher. That's what I expect to see. Obviously, if something changes, it does something else, I'll have to make a move, but that's what I would expect. So if you happen to get in here, you happen to get in there, hold your stop. Your stop should be right around here, right around this level, or $1 or $2 below, because the stock will likely come back there. I hope not. I hope it actually, if it does pull back a little bit more, it doesn't touch that breakout point, and maybe just kind of, give us a bit of a gap between the low that it does hit and that point, so that it just kind of rolls and goes up without ever touching the breakout point. So there were 2 breakout points. There was that one and there was that one, which is, takes it up into an all-time high. So it looks really good otherwise. I like OLED. I'm in it. Okay, Visa. And again, these charts are taking a while. So this had a triangle that it's popped over, 2 decent days of upside. And I'm going to go through these kind of quick because I just haven't been showing these. So I'm just going to show you what I've kind of been looking at. Expedia, I raised this line a little bit because it looks like this higher area here is actually the point that's holding it down, because of the way it closed on Friday. Kind of did what OLED did, had a lot of gain, and then that just kind of sagged and closed right back below the breakout point on Expedia anyway. That's an ascending triangle. I would buy it again if it was able to break back over that line. Again, in this environment, if the volume isn't going to be maintained at a high level, it might have a really high volume at the open between 9:30 and 10. That might drive it over. I'd want to see it close over that line before I would buy it, but I don't want it to be too far away from that line. So I would not buy it if it was going to close way up there, for example. But if it closes like that, or it's just over the line, you could try to buy it there. And that's probably more likely going to hold a breakout if it does that, at least in this environment. NVIDIA blew through this symmetrical triangle that I have. Once it loads, I'll show you. There we go. That's a big symmetrical triangle, and it finally blew out of that. You can see here, really, really powerful on Thursday, and then a pause. And that's kind of what makes me think that OLED might not actually totally reverse on me. I don't think NVIDIA is going to reverse either. There's just a pause. So one stock might react to show an inverted hammer, another stock shows a doji, another stock shows a spinning top. There was just a pause on Friday, so I don't think we're going to see a big reversal in some of these stocks. We had really good action, and some of these had super volume. Like NVIDIA had great volume. That was fantastic. It was a really, really good move, and it cleared this triangle, which is a breakout. So things look good. I think the market's starting to turn. At least the sentiment is starting to turn a bit of a corner, and all of that relies on us not getting some stupid China tariff news that's just going to crash everything, destroy everything. We already have a meeting that they're going to have in October. I hope the president and China just shut up for a month and a half or however long it takes before that meeting happens. Don't talk about it. Let the market function within its own means, without being news driven. StarBucks has this little kind of a channel. I had it as an ascending triangle, but then this bar kind of dipped below, but then it was bought right back up again. And then that corresponds with this low back here. So it's kind of a channel. There's still another high up there, but there's a high there and a high there. So StarBucks maybe breaks over that high level, might be a buy. ROKU was one that I've been watching for a while. I think I had it on this channel in the videos, even when it was back there. I couldn't catch the entry. I really wanted to. I was certain it was one of the stronger stocks, and yes, it was. But yeah, that's such a strong move. Really, really good. And then a nice rebound on Friday with the move it had on Thursday. So it's still showing a lot of strength. ROKU still looks really good as far as I'm concerned. And I think it's actually going to break 170.97 and actually continue to go higher. Don't know how high it'll go from there. It looks really, really strong to me. Netflix, I think Netflix is going to end up going really high soon. It's gonna have a good move here shortly, because this is a falling wedge that every time it's kind of dipped or spiked and come back, I've been able to adjust the lines and it still works as a falling wedge. So those lines are really good, and it keeps hitting the line, coming back in, dropping to the lower line, bouncing right back in. And that's similar to this move here. This was another falling wedge where it just was kind of a mess back here. Then it dropped into this falling wedge and was up, down, up, down, up, down, and it eventually moved like this, where it's straight up green. That's a trade that I was able to get. I bought it right there on that day, and I got all of that move. I think I got out somewhere in these bars. But that shows you the kind of pattern that Netflix can create. A falling wedge into, bang, a big spike. And it seems like the exact same or similar thing is happening now. There was a bunch of blah going on back in here, and then it just dropped into this falling wedge and has been up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down the whole time. Keep a close eye on Netflix. I mean, I know it's got a lot of competitors. There's Roku and its streaming services. There's Disney and it taking over Hulu, and then the Apple TV Plus thing, and then whatever else other companies are doing as far as streaming is concerned. There's probably going to need to be a catalyst on Netflix to pop it out of there. There'll be something like, oh, Netflix suddenly, rumor has it they are going to have blowout subscribers this quarter or something. Some kind of catalyst that will drive it out of this falling wedge. Probably before earnings. I don't think it'll be earnings. I think it would be before earnings, and then the earnings might not be what we like, and then it'll do something different. But really nice falling wedge on Netflix. Keep an eye on it. This level here is 293.65. Probably will change as it continues to get lower, but it's really getting tight at the bottom. I think it's coming where it's going to make its move. Doesn't have much further to go before that whole pattern is going to get wrecked, or it's going to fulfill and take it to the upside. Western Digital was one I found, I think it was last week. Even though it's dropped way down into this, as you can see, I just had the feeling that because it had such movement back here and then the rebound there that I thought it was going to go higher, and it did. That was a rising wedge. So I didn't really have it in the channel. I don't think I even mentioned it on these videos because I didn't do a video for a while. But yeah, that one, just wanted to show that one had worked. That was one that worked. LULU, rising wedge, and earnings blasted it out. That's kind of hard to buy because it gapped up so far, unless you're just going to throw money into it at the open. But that would have worked if you threw money in at the open. Nice rising wedge. It did break out with the earnings. If you're in it, looks great. It's going to go a lot higher most likely. Shopify. So this was another one. I couldn't get into it in here. I just couldn't find the entry, and then I gave up on it. But it really moved well. If you had bought it there, or you bought it off the bounce of the lower line, and that line's not quite right. It's been adjusted somehow. There you go. But yeah, so it's moved up into here, consolidated slightly. There was another buy point right there where it broke the high and just took off again. But now it's kind of struggling. So the level to watch is right there. Looks like it's going to pull back. If it holds that, fine. Maybe it's going to channel a little bit more before it attempts to go higher again. To me, it looks like it probably does need to consolidate for a while. It does need to pull back because it's gone so far. But sideways action would be great. You know, if it can just churn within these two lines, that'd be perfect. And then eventually pop up again, that'd be totally fine. But the main level to watch is right there. If it breaks down through there, you know, that's going to be a fail. It's going to start really coming down a little bit more. So just be careful with that one. DOCU, again, I just wanted to show this. This isn't really a buy right now, but this was earnings that popped it out. There was a line right there that had blasted over because of the earnings. Basically, what I want to watch now is what is it going to do from here? Is it going to continue to climb? Is it going to flag? Are we going to find a buy point there someplace? So I just want to keep an eye on DOCU. Alibaba has a nice ascending triangle. It's pretty big, but it's there. The earnings are pretty good. I'm not sure when its next earnings report is, if it already did it or not. I'd have to look that one up, but yeah, it's still in there. And if it eventually, if positive China news starts churning and we start getting some good stuff out of the China negotiations and just the China stocks in general, that'd be the buy point on Baidu right there. It's 180, was that 180.91? 180.80. Yeah, somewhere in there. 180.91 probably would be the best place. And then here's one last one that I found. Found this guy just today. It looks like it's a Chinese stock, I think, too. Really, look at how bullish that pattern, that overall chart is. Just up, 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 up. And now this looks like a little tight ascending triangle to me. So 155.76, if that thing can break over that. Again, check the earnings. I'm not sure when the earnings are for that one, if it already reported or not. Be careful. But yeah, it looks really good in the ascending triangle. So that's it. I'm hoping we get a lot more positive action during this week. And then obviously I'll try to keep making the videos now this week and going forward. And then all the way into October is the next earnings season. And that's it. I'll see you next time.